Каждый вторник в 12:10 один из самых известных раввинов нашего времени, Манис Фридман, в прямом эфире отвечает на вопросы наших слушателей. Вы услышите мнение самой мудрой книги человечества – Библии, о самых сложных проблемах, стоящих перед современным миром. Присылайте ваши вопросы заранее на наш имейл info@rusa.fm или во время передачи по СМС 347 460 08 77.
Добрый день всем, кто сейчас настроен на радио USA. Сегодня вторник. По вторникам мы говорим «Thank God it's Tuesday». И действительно есть за что благодарить Всевышнего вот за этот час, который мы проводим с раввином Манисом Фридманом, совершенно феноменальным раввином нашего времени, настоящим лидером, настоящим мудрецом. И вот этот час мы проводим с ним. Нам безумно повезло. И сегодня, на самом деле, нашу передачу, тему нашей передачи продиктовали наши слушатели. Вот получила я определенный такой текст-месседж, который говорит, вот почему евреи должны внешне так отличаться? Неужели же нельзя быть как все, и тем не менее все равно служить Всевышнему? Сейчас я зачитаю конкретный вопрос, который к нам поступил, но это тематика нашей сегодняшней передачи, и поэтому сразу же перехожу к раввину Манису Фридману, и дай бог, мы получим от него интересный ответ на интересный вопрос. Hello, Rabbi Manis Friedman. Thank God it's Tuesday. And we are so grateful for this hour that we get to spend with you and get some extremely wise answers to life questions. And today's program has been actually directed by one of our listeners who asked a good question, a question that probably interests a lot of people. And here's the question. Why do some religious Jews choose such visible markers of separation, distinctive clothing, beard, sidelocks, and wigs, when these can make them stand out and sometimes become targets of prejudice? Would greater integration into broader society help reduce division while maintaining religious observance? In other words, do we need to look so different and be separate? Can we serve God being just like everybody else, at least visibly?
Why would we want to look like everybody else? What, are we jealous of them?
To avoid problems, as our listener points out.
Yeah. That's in Germany. The Jews looked like everybody else. It didn't help. Not at all. So that's a thought and a plan that we've had before. We've tried it before. In the times of the Hellenists, we tried it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Rabbi Friedman, but we looked like everybody else, but we also acted like everybody else. But this listener is asking very particular. Can we look like everybody else, but do our thing?
No, the question is, would that help in terms of anti-Semitism?
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't help. The anti-Semite doesn't know whether you daven or make a bracha before you eat. And it doesn't matter to him. So we are Jewish, and that is as different as being, let's say, a black person in a white society. What should he do? Well, don't be so black. Okay, now come on. Don't be so Jewish that you look Jewish. That's intimidation. If you give in to that, it's the beginning of defeat. No, we don't change anything in order to trick people into being nice with us. Maybe if we did this, maybe if we did that. No, that's victim thinking. We're not victims, and we're not going to give up anything to get people to like us. That's desperate. It's embarrassing. No. We are who we are, and the world is going to have to grow up.
Rabbi Friedman, but even, being religious, some people look way more, others way less. Some people have long beards, some people have trimmed beards. So, still everybody looks different, but to a different extent different.
But it's not that anybody is trying to look different. That's not the objective. You have a tradition that this is how you dress. No, don't do that. Why? So that the anti-Semite won't identify you? Come on. It's giving them a little too much power before we even get started. Did I tell you the story? I think I did. The famous Reb Mendel Futerfas was in a jail. I don't remember, in Petersburg, someplace. And he was an amazing, amazing man. And all the guards, the monsters, liked him. So one day, one of the guards came and whispered to him that one of your guys is in the cell, in the floor just below yours. Right under you, in the cell, there's another one of you guys. Shneir Sonim. A Schneerson guy. That's what they call the Lubavitcher Chassidim. And if you speak at night when it's quiet, if you speak near the pipe that brings the heat, it's not closed tight in the floor. He'll be able to hear you. So in the middle of the night, he laid down near the pipe, and he said, Moshe. Moshe was on the floor below him. Moshe like, what? Who is this? He said, it's Mendel. Du bist zufrieden? Are you content? That was his first question. When I heard the story, I was like, what kind of question is this? He was just arrested. He may be executed. He may be sent to Siberia. He may be tortured to death. What are you asking him? Are you content? We worked it out later. We found out the secret to the survival of the Chassidim who were arrested. 8 years, 10 years, 15 years. And they came out healthy, mentally, religiously, never worked on Shabbos, never ate anything non-kosher. How did they have the strength to do that? So one of the secrets is they arrested you, they're beating you, they're interrogating you, they're scaring you. Are you content? So what is there to be content with? If you're not content, then they got to you already. They already broke you. And now it's easy. They're going to take you apart. You're going to confess to everything they want you to confess to. You're going to, and then they'll kill you. So the trick is, don't give an inch. Not being happy to be there is already giving an inch. If you're feeling miserable because this is not where you belong, that's it, they win. This is brilliant. It's not fight back, be strong. No. They'll break you. They're experts. Don't be strong, be happy. Be content that this is what God wants from you, this is exactly where you need to be, and this is where you fulfill your purpose in life. What does it have to do with communists? Nothing. Nothing. They can ask you questions. They can threaten you. This is where you belong because that's your place, not because they arrested you. That way they have nothing over you. I think the hostages did the same thing. Said, you arrested me? You kidnapped me? No. This is where I'm supposed to be. You're just a detail. That's how they stayed mentally intact and sharp, and they never became a victim even in the little details. Nothing. I'm not here because you arrested me. I'm here because when I was born, this was going to be the plan. It was already in the works. I'm living out my life. This is my destiny. This is between me and God, and you're just annoying me. So say what you want, do what you want, I don't care. Amazing, amazing. It's the ultimate fact of life. If you start to give in, you lose. If you give up on your life, then they are the boss. They take over. As long as you keep it your life they can't touch.
Rabbi Fridman, regarding our look, regarding how we look, it's interesting. You see that people return back from completely non-observant lifestyle and they go into the look. Why? Why do people do that? I mean, they can start keeping kosher and keeping Shabbat and look exactly the way they looked since the time they were born. But yet, most likely, they will go into the look. Why is this happening?
Well, there's a lot of value to identification. You identify with a group. When you look like them, then you belong. If you don't look, then you don't belong. You stand out. So it's conforming. But there's a healthy side to conforming. You feel identified. You know who you are. It's good. But that shouldn't be the first thing. Don't start to look like a chassid when you're not yet a chassid. That's backwards. First, become a chassid. Then maybe you'll start to look like one. But first, think like one, speak like one, act like one. Then you'll look like one. But don't start with the look. It's too external.
Rabbi Fridman, about the sense of belonging. Again, speaking about my community, most of us came from the former Soviet Union. No God, no religion. Everybody's the same. And then here, people are slowly finding their way back. But the sense of belonging, I don't want to call it crossing over, but you cross over, you don't belong in either place, kind of, for at least a good long time. Mm-hmm. How do you deal with that?
Well, there are people who don't deal with it very well, and they lose their family and they lose their friends. And then eventually they start to regret it, and it's not good. If you're going to identify, it shouldn't be to the exclusion, rejection of everybody else. I know the Chassidim who came from Russia, the Rebbe encouraged them to continue dressing like they did in Russia. That's their identity. Don't lose it. Don't play with it. So how you look has a very powerful effect on how you think and feel. So people who just take on the look and alienate their family and their friends and their past life, it's not healthy. There was a woman who came to our program, and she decided that she's going to become observant. She wants to live her life like a Jew. Her mother, she called me after a few months that she got home. This was not a teenager. This was like a woman in her 30s. Anyway, she calls me. She says, I have a problem. Got into a big fight with my mother. What happened? Her mother was like a little shocked that she came home. All of a sudden, she wants to keep kosher. She doesn't want to turn the television on Shabbos. She doesn't want to go shopping. That was really shocking. So they had many, many arguments, right? And she tried to explain. But recently, her mother said to her, I can accept Shabbos. I can accept kosher. But promise me you won't wear a wig when you get married. I told my mother that I will wear a wig, and we got into a very big fight. And I don't know what to say. I said, wait a minute. You got into an argument about a wig? What was your argument? Your mother said it's the most absurd thing I've ever heard. What was your argument? She says, no, I tried to explain it. I said, you have an explanation? She says, no. I said, what were you arguing? She said, that's my problem. I tried to explain it, but... I said, go back to your mother and say, Ma, you're so right. It is the most absurd thing I've ever heard. But I'm going to try it. She went back and told her mother, and everything is fine. Her mother doesn't care whether she covers her hair. Her mother wants to know, who are you? What kind of person? I didn't raise you like this. Like, who are you and what did you do with my daughter? Let your mother know you're still the same person. You're going to try wearing a wig. You haven't lost your head. You're still the same person. It's a Jewish thing to cover your hair. I'm going to try it. Oh, so you're still normal. Okay. And I still have my daughter. Right? You don't have to alienate your family. In fact, you're not allowed to.
Rabbi Friedman, I have to say, since we're on the topic of covering hair,
Always a hot.
Huh?
Always a hot topic.
Always a hot topic. For me, it was the last challenge that I had to really take on myself, because my hair was always my signature. I had some head of hair. I still have. Nothing, it didn't go away. It's just covered. But everybody always told me this same thing. Do whatever you want to do. Just don't cover your hair. You can't, your hair. And now everybody says, we miss your hair. I mean, actually, it's still the topic of the conversation. I didn't alienate anybody because I covered, but at the same time, it is the biggest thing that people notice. Everything else doesn't seem to be a big deal. Kosher, Shabbos, all right. The hair, wow.
Yeah. Now you're getting personal.
Yeah.
So, was it worth it?
Absolutely. It had to be done. And it had to be done for a very, very specific reason. I am a part of very touchy-feely community where men and women love to hug when they see each other and say hello. It's affectionate. It's friendly. And that is something I could not have continued to happen. And the only way I could prevent it, and still it's challenging, is to say, guys, okay, no more. See? My hair is covered. I can't hug either. So for me, that was one of the most important things. And yes, I did understand why hair is holy and why it needs to be covered. So I did get to that point. But, especially that aspect was the most important. How do I get people to stop, getting too close when it's not appropriate? Really, it's not. I mean, again, for people in my community, it's still extremely appropriate. And, so this is something that now I'm being weird. I don't hug men or shake their hands.
Has it restricted or interfered with your personality? You're not yourself anymore?
No, I'm still myself. A slightly different self, but not in who I am, but in how I guess I conduct myself.
It appears to me that you are more relaxed since you cover your hair.
Really? Yes, you do know me in both situations. I don't know. I don't know if I'm more relaxed, but I'm definitely, I just know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and it feels good. I'm doing what God wants me to do, and it feels good. Let me put it this way. It's in the Torah, so it's part of the deal, and I embrace the deal, so I embrace this as well. That's my position.
That's the way it should be done. Not by force, not unnaturally. You do other mitzvahs, you get into it, you're starting to feel comfortable, you move on to another mitzvah and then another mitzvah. It's all very natural, and people don't think you've lost your mind. That's the right way to do it.
Rabbi Friedman, what we do here, and a lot, why do you need to be so religious? Okay, so you're doing here these few things here and there. That's nice, yes, very nice. Why do you need to get crazy? Because, this is what people who become observant in our community hear all the time. I'm sure I speak for a lot of people. And I've been asked that question. Orthodox, Hasidic, what is wrong with you? Can't you just do things and, keep it simple?
It's a very good question. It's a very good question. A very reasonable, sensible question. Why do you have to be so religious? And if you feel like you have to be so religious, then you got some problems. I remember what the conversation was, but a similar conversation with some famous speaker. I don't remember details. Anyway, somebody asked him, why do you have to do all that? And how do you enjoy life with all these rules? The guy said, how come you walk around with clothes on? Why don't you go join those people who live without clothes? The guy said, I don't want to. He said, neither do I. You think I'm doing all of these things because I have no choice? You think I'm doing this and it's all uncomfortable to me? I'm as comfortable doing what I'm doing as you are wearing pants. So wearing pants is your religion? Why do you have to be so religious? I don't have to. I just feel better with some clothes on. It has to feel completely natural. We wouldn't be doing this for 3,300 years if it was uncomfortable. We would dump it the first opportunity. To be Jewish is our reality, and when we feel like we're in Judaism, we feel at home. The more Jewish your life is, the more natural your life is because you are a Jew. It's not a religion.
What about the famous answer, I'm Jewish no matter what, and I'm a Jew at heart. I love Israel. Yom Kippur, definitely. I'm there in the synagogue fasting, but I'm a Jew. Why do I need to do Jewish things? I'm a Jew. I feel Jewish. A lot of people have that attitude.
Yeah, why do you have to support Israel? You can be Jewish without supporting Israel. There are some people today who feel that they are better Jews because they don't support Israel.
Yeah.
How's that for a good argument? I'm more Jewish than you. I don't support Israel. Yeah. It's like if you're a woman but you won't dress like a woman. Is that healthy? You're a child, but you dress like an adult. You're an adult, but you dress like a child. Is that healthy? So, a 60-year-old woman in a miniskirt, she's still 60 years old. So what's the problem? The problem is you are 60 years old, but for some reason you don't want to look it. What is your problem? Is it shameful to be 60 years old? You have to pretend you're not 60 years old? What's the problem here? A woman has to wear men's clothing? Why?
Rabbi Friedman, I'm sorry, you're just describing our society. It's like it's exactly what is happening. Women are wearing men's clothes, 60-year-old women wear miniskirts, adults dress like children. It's exactly what is happening. What's the point? What's the point?
The point is we are a very unhappy society. And then it moves to the extremes. Then you have trans needs, and you have people who won't get married at all, who can't function the way they are. Yeah. What's wrong with just being healthy? If you're Jewish, look Jewish, talk Jewish, eat Jewish, what's your problem? And we're getting better at it, by the way. There was a time when you had to change your name if it sounded Jewish. Yeah, nobody wanted to be a Goldberg, except Whoopi. Nobody wanted to have a Jewish-looking nose. They had to have an operation. Jewish actors never admitted they were Jewish. Now, the opposite. Every actor is, very upfront. I'm Jewish. Every comedian just keeps making jokes about his being Jewish. So we're getting a little better, healthier. We realize there's nothing wrong with being Jewish. And if some people have a problem with it, that's their problem, not mine. So yeah, we're getting a little better. But the problem is this. We think that Judaism is a religion. People are always talking about the Judeo-Christian values or Judeo-Christian lifestyle. You can't compare Judaism with Christianity. Christianity is a religion. If you don't believe it, if you don't confess your faith in it, then you're not a Christian. Judaism is not a religion. A Jew is not being religious. He's being Jewish. So Judaism is an identity, not a religion. People looking for an identity will take on a religion. Because it gives them an identity. We have an identity, thank you very much. We don't need a religion. So a Jew putting on tefillin is not being religious. It's just being Jewish. A big difference.
By the way, that people love that. I started using your verbiage and explanation, and whenever I go somewhere where nothing is kosher and I bring my own food, and what are you doing? I said, being Jewish. Oh, that makes sense. See, that makes sense. Just doing something different? No. But what are you doing? Being Jewish. Okay, that actually explains a lot to people. So it's very cool explanation. Thank you for that, Rabbi Friedman.
There was a woman in Minnesota decided she wanted to keep kosher. Her husband was a very Jewish man, but never mitzvahs, practice, nothing. He got very upset. He was a very simple guy, very earthy. He was a bus driver, a city bus driver. He calls me up all angry. He says, "You convinced my wife to keep kosher? I'm 48 years old. I've never kept kosher. You give me one good reason that I should start keeping kosher. And don't give me no philosophy." I love these challenges. I said, okay, no philosophy. You should keep kosher because non-Jews don't. He said, oh, okay. Okay.
Really? That was enough?
He was so Jewish, you know what I mean? Like, he was a very proud Jew, but he never did anything about it. So you want to know why you should keep kosher? Non-Jews don't keep kosher. Are you a non-Jew? That's it. In other words, keeping kosher is a Jewish thing. So you want to know why a Jewish man should keep kosher? What kind of question is that? Because keeping kosher is a Jewish thing. So who should do Jewish things? The Irish? Same idea, just presented a little differently.
Rabbi Friedman, do you think it's true what people say that if that they can make a bigger difference in their communities if they're identified better with, in other words, people who have started to be Jewish from transferring from not being Jewish for most of their lives? And do you think that if they are more, if they don't change their look so much, if they don't change their, if there's no drastic changes, do you think they can influence their communities better, or it doesn't make any difference?
That's a serious question. Because if you're going to become more observant and in the process turn other people off to observance, was it worth it?
No.
Is that what God wants? So, of course, you should become more observant in a way that your family, your circle of influence feels comfortable. So that they're not turned off, they're actually a little curious. Wow, you're doing that? And you like it? That's why you don't just sever your connections to who you are before you've become comfortably observant. If you're comfortably observant, people want to hear more. If you're religiously observant, nobody wants to hear from you. Because they're predicting that you're not going to like it and you're going to change your mind eventually. So just a matter of time.
That's a great distinction. By the way, a lot of people think that whenever people become Jewish, that it's a temporary insanity. And
yeah, because why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that? So if a woman who always dressed very masculine suddenly decides to become more feminine, why would you want to do that? Why? Because I'm a woman. Ask me why it took me so long to do it. That would be a good question. So if a Jew starts to keep Shabbos, the question is not why did you start? The question is what took you so long?
Amazing. Great conversation. And I think it was very, very good for a lot of people, especially in my community, because to one extent or another, these questions do come up. And this balance is something that is very important for people to find, because it is a very, very big change, of course, for a lot of people. Huge. But a good one. Speaking from experience.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's inevitable.
Yeah.
Really, it's inevitable. You can't go forever being a Jew but not acting like a Jew, being a Jew but not sounding like a Jew. That charade it's too unnatural. It becomes too uncomfortable, and you just want to be yourself.
I gotta say, Reverend Friedman, this radio is 16 years old. When we got started, I was nowhere near living a Jewish lifestyle, just like everybody else. And in the process, about 10 years ago, slowly but surely, actually from the very beginning, slowly but surely, and about 10 years ago, took on most of the mitzvahs, most of the lifestyle of a Jewish person. And of course, the question is, what happened to Anna? What happened to her? Why? What was that life-changing experience? And my whole staff will say for sure, they always do, says whatever it is, it's for the good. We see that the change is definitely for the good. And it's interesting thing is people say, I wish I could do it, but I'm not ready. What do you say to those people?
As soon as you're ready, you'll do it.
Amazing.
In other words, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Amazing. Rabbi Friedman, thank you so much for this conversation. I'm sure it's been very, very helpful to a lot of people, and me as well, as always. Thank you so much for the time you allocate to our community, our radio. It's priceless, and we so look forward to more wisdom from you in the coming weeks, God willing.
And that's it. We're out of time.
Yeah. Went by fast.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have an amazing
Time
day.
flies when you're having fun.
For sure, for sure. Thank you so much. Ну, а всем, кто нас слушал, большое вам спасибо. Спасибо, что вы есть, и что вместе мы несем добро в этот мир и свет. Давайте так и продолжать. Всего хорошего. До следующей недели.
Радио, которое